Hello, everybody. Hello. I decided to start a little early to make sure that I have my settings right. Hi, Lazy Liz. Hi, SB Foster. Hello. No Better TV. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to make some adjustments. Okay. Now, last week when I went live, I couldn't see the chats on my laptop, so I logged out and started over. I'm not going to do that this weekend. I think it might be just a delay. So, I'm just going to give it some time. Hi, Lorraine. Let's see here. We've got, hi, Kevin. Thank you for coming. QC. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for coming. Hello, Miss T. Thank you so much for coming in today. Hello, Felicia. I'm going to announce about 7:15. That way it'll give, everybody a chance to get in. Okay, if you have the opportunity to share to this video, I would appreciate it if you would do that at this time. And if you can hit the like button for the host, that'll help me out too. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yes. Garden of Eden. Thank you. Jennifer Jones. Thank you. Thank you, Lazy Liz. Thank you, Miss T. Did you all get a chance? Hi, Kevin. Did you get a chance to watch my last video? We had a crazy windstorm without any rain the other night. I was extremely exhausted, so I slept straight through it. And when I first walked out the next morning to the food forest, I thought maybe some wild animals, possums or something, must have got into the, okay, Monique. Then I noticed that my umbrellas that I use for shade were leaning or knocked down. And then as I got my water hose and I started watering, hi, Diana. Hello, Joyce. I noticed that there was, okay, you live in Dallas, Miss T, so you know that I noticed all my sugar cane was laying down and it still hasn't come back up. I think I'm going to lose the sugar cane. But I've learned to be a more patient gardener in my, hey, Diana, you in Garland, so you know. Hi, Miss Clausen World. As I've gotten older, I've learned to become more patient. So I'm not throwing the towel in yet on the sugar cane, but it still hasn't come up. Do you water everything at one time or do you check each plant for dryness? I'm going to get into that in a few minutes, dear. I've written down some notes this time so I can make sure I cover everything I want to cover. And since the topic is growing, oh, you're in North Texas too, Clausen World. Yeah, the storms is just crazy. I've been living here for a long time. I left Indiana, I want to say 35, 40 years ago. Actually, it's 40 years ago. And I've been in Texas for about 36 years, and I still can't get used to the weather. Oh, I'm so happy that you are a new gardener, and I'm going to review some stuff that I have maybe presented before, because we have a lot of new gardeners joining our gardening community. And I'm sure it has something to do with what's going on in the world right now. And a lot of people are gardening for the very first time. So this video still isn't coming up yet, but we're just going to keep going. So, Kokomo, Indiana, moved from Washington. So we get really strong winds here in North Texas. Oh, I know what I was saying. I got sidetracked. Yes, it is a lot of fun, newbie gardener, but you have to be patient. And that's what I was going to say. When I was younger, when something like this would happen, I would just yank it out the ground, the pot, the bed, whatever, and just, start over. But, okay, Lisa got some comfort. But now as I've gotten older, I know to be a little bit more patient. Okay, I'm going to get to those comments in a minute. To be a little bit more patient and let nature take its course. And sometimes things can come back. For a perfect example, the last video that I made showing some of the damage, some of the corn was leaning. It uprighted itself. I didn't prop it. So it took care of itself. But I propped up with trellises the sugar cane, it didn't come back up. So sometimes we need to be a little bit more patient. Okay, I just hit refresh, and now I can see the comments. So I'm getting better at this. Hi, Candy's Container Gardening. Thank you so much for coming in today. Don't forget, if you have an opportunity to share my video, I would certainly appreciate it. And I hope that some of you all will hit that like button. Okay, so it's close to 6:45. So what I want you guys to do as I'm going over the comments, I want you to please type your gardening questions in all caps. Remember, if you want me to answer your question, put it in all caps, because a lot of people are just speaking or talking amongst themselves, and I will miss your question. Okay, so I'm going back. No problems, Garden in Eden. Hey, Monique. Oh, thank you, Lazy Liz. I try sometimes. Miss T Versation. Monique is going to watch the video. Hi, Diana. I'm just going back. Okay, that was the first question from Lazy Liz Life. Do you water everything at one time, or do you check each plant for dryness? Very good question. The first thing that I do is check my plants. And that's when I noticed all of the damage in the food forest the other day, because I just walk around and observe. And as I told you, I noticed a couple of the umbrellas were down. Then I noticed that plants were leaning. I noticed a couple of containers were knocked over. I noticed fruit on the ground that had snapped from the branches in the trees. And then I water. Now, since we are above 100 degrees now every day in zone 8A, Mesquite, Texas. I water all of my medium to small containers. I give them a little water every day. Now, the 17-gallon new containers, if you look at my video, you will notice that I have sweet potatoes and okra growing in them. I don't water them every day because 17 gallons of soil can hold a lot of moisture. I don't water my trees in the ground every day. I try to water them twice a week. And I document in my journal the days that I water it. Also, my trees that are in raised beds, my stone fruit, my peach and nectarine tree, I don't water but maybe once a week, even in extreme drought, because they do not like wet feet. But you will know when you need to give your trees a little bit more water because it'll show you. They'll start drooping, they'll start looking limp and wimpy. So in those cases, then I may give a little bit more water. So to answer your question, Lazy Liz, I don't water everything at the same time, because I used to have these moisture meters, but I've been doing it so long, I really don't need to use those anymore. The moisture meters will tell you how low the moisture content is. But I just put my finger down in the plant instead of switching those all around. That's just a lot of work. So moisture meters, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying that I have a lot of plants to look after and to water, so I can do by sight and by feel. And Lazy Liz says she's not good at the finger thing, so use the moisture meter. By all means, I'm not knocking what people use, because I admitted that I use those. But I can look at it, and I know if a plant needs some water. And if you've been gardening as long as I have, you will be able to do that. Okay, that's a good thing, Ben. Now, another thing is, still answering that question, you will know when it's about time. Thank you, Carmel. You will know even without looking at your plant when your plant needs some water. For example, let's talk citrus trees. Hi, Stan. Good to see you. My 2 improved Meyer lemons, my 2 Mexican key limes, especially the Mexican key limes, don't need water but once a week. I don't care how hot it is. The limes don't like a lot of water, and the improved Meyer lemons don't. But I'm also growing 2 other citrus trees. One is a calamandan. It's only a year and a half old, and it was only 12 inches tall when I bought it online from US Citrus. But it's past my privacy fence now. It's still a little lanky, so I'm going to severely prune it this year so it can bush out a little bit more. It needs a little water when it's 100 degrees every single day, or the leaves will be limp. Another tree that I have that is a citrus tree that needs some water every single day is my Miho Satsuma. It's like a little tangerine. It has roots, not fibrous, that's for tomatoes. It has feeder roots that are close to the surface, and they don't do well if you sink them down and cover them up with a lot of soil. Therefore, they need a little water every day. And that Miho Satsuma has produced fruit for the first time this year. So it has a lot of fruit on it, and it's taking even more water. So you'll know just by experience and by researching and listening to other people that grow food in your area, you'll kind of just know. Hello, thank you, Rebecca. I'm so glad you're here. You'll know. So there's no one size fit all when it comes to watering, and the same rule applies for fertilizers, whether it is organic or chemical. One magic product is not going to give your plants all of the nutrients that it needs to produce very well. Thank you, Brenda. Please put all your questions in all caps. Okay, Diana says she's a new gardener. She's learned a lot from watching us. Thank you so much. Diana, watch as many YouTubers as you can. Ben, you're in Indiana. Are you from there? Or are you just visiting? Yes, North Carolina. Am I saying this right, QC? You are in the same gardening zone as me, but your weather is much different. You don't get that 102, 100 and high candlelight. You don't get that 111 degree heat index like we do. Hello, Therapy. Thank you for coming. Diana Marie, love Homestead Heart and Lead Farmer 73. Excellent. So I am not one of those gardeners that would constantly preach to you, watch my channel, watch my channel. Watch as many gardeners as you can. And I say this almost every live. Even if you don't like them, watch them anyway. Be a life learner. A lot of people listen for you to make one little mistake so they can tune you out, but that's their loss. Okay? All right. Okay, somebody's in Kokomo, Indiana, moved from Seattle. Yes, I heard that, Monique. Strong winds in Louisiana, too. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube from Louisiana, New Orleans, and he said they had real high winds. Can't think of his name right now. I ordered some comfrey on eBay after watching your videos. Excited to have natural fertilizer. It'll take you about 2.5 months, 3 months before you can get some leaves to be able to harvest and to make some liquid fertilizer. Clausen World says she had somebody to reach out to her. Very good. Cheryl, I've been looking for you. Your video just came in. It rained here hard, and a lot of my flowers ruined from my squash. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Most plants have this built-in instinct. When you harvest, they produce more. If Mother Nature makes the winds blow off the blooms, they will produce more. Don't get excited or fretful about that. Don't worry about it. I guarantee you. If your plants are getting enough nutrients for them to produce flowers and you lose some, you will get more. I promise you. But I felt like that too. Okay. Somebody wants to offer some advice. Okay. About comfrey. Can I plant my sweet potato plants now? I think that's the next question. I'm looking for all caps. If you have a question, put it in all caps or I'm going to miss you. Hi, Roshonda. Turf Therapy, you're a very smart guy. Watch everybody. I've had some people to tell me they've been watching me for years. Back when I only had 2-minute videos and 3-minute videos. And it inspired them to start their channel. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's answer Brenda Allen's question. Cheryl, can I plant my sweet potato plants now, zone 6A? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with your channel, but I know you're in a colder zone. Sweet potatoes take approximately 170 days to produce. So you have to calculate, or you can go to Farmer's Almanac online, and they will put your zone in, and they'll tell you when to plant sweet potatoes. But if you put your slips in, say tomorrow, you want to add 170 days to tomorrow's date, and then you have to realize if you're going to get a frost. So it takes 170 days to produce some decent sweet potatoes, and you have to harvest them before the first frost. They are very susceptible to damage with coldness, so you got to get them out. Okay. So I hope I've answered your questions, because I don't know in my head all of the zones, the dates. I only keep up with my own, to be honest with you. But go to that Farmer's Almanac. Hello from Texas, City Slicker Country Boy. All right, thank you. Hello to you. Oh, well, Jim and I love us. The next question, but you didn't do it in all caps. But I'm going to reach over here on my kitchen counter, and I'm going to answer your question. She wants to know, when cucumbers turn yellow, it's cause you left them on the vine too long. I hope that's a question, or you answering other people's questions. But this is one that got away from me. I'm 66 years old. I don't like to bend down a lot. I have bad knees and back issues. So I tried to put everything up on the trellis so I can see them. I missed this one. The answer is, if you let it go too long, it will turn yellow. Here's another one that went too long. This is an Armenian cucumber, and you can see me, the indentation right in here where I need to cut that off, and I can eat the rest of it. This one is okay, but it has a tinge of green and yellow. It went a little too long. This is the straight A pickling cucumber. So some told me to put these on the side here where I can reach them, because I figured somebody was going to ask me that question. Now, unless you are a moderator and you have a wrench by your name, I'm going to ask, like Talita just here, 360 Cafe with the wrench, I'm going to ask that you refrain from answering questions in my live. And that's not to say you may not have the right answer. It's to say that I've selected who I want to be my moderators. It's an honor if I've selected you, and that means that we're on the same page about gardening. So no offense to anyone in here. If you don't have a wrench by your name, please don't answer the questions unless your friend or somebody is in here and specifically calls out your name. And I hope you guys don't get offended. Okay. It's the leaves, not the cucumber. Oh, maybe too much water. Remember this rule. If the leaves are yellow and limp, you've got too much water. If they're yellow and they're crunchy, it's not enough water. Always remember that. It's so easy to remember. Yellow and crunchy, it needs hydration. Yellow and limp, too much water. In my last video, hi Lisa, hi Brenda Allen, my last video, I showed you evidence of that on my sweet potato plants. I admitted to you all that I was giving it too much water. Have to keep in mind that that is a 17-gallon blue pot that I have those sweet potatoes in. I don't know everything. I make mistakes. I have never grown in that large pot before. Hello, Restored Gardens. Thank you so much. So Lisa Williams is saying that's what happened to some of her cucumbers. Very good. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you too. Okay, here we go. Mar E has a question. It just Bean? No, that's Rebecca. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes it skips. Cucumber is a yellowish color and leaves are brown. Is that a disease? You can email me a picture. I need to have more information than that. My email is, look on any one of my videos in the description box and you will see that email address. I need a picture. I do not want to give you the wrong answers. How do I keep squirrels from eating the tops of my plants? You know, when I start laughing, I'm thinking something devious in my head, but I'm not going to say it. I was going to say plant more, but that's wrong. This is what I use. I'm going to lean it so you can see. Repel all. It won't harm your cats or your dogs. It'll just make the nostrils of possums, rats, squirrels, raccoons. It'll burn their nostrils and they'll go the opposite way. And I got this at Home Depot. And it comes in pellets and it comes in a liquid. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Oh, thank you, Dean. Hello, Growing Progress. Hello, Experimental Gardener. Taste the cucumber and it's sour. I don't know if you're meaning your regular cucumbers or one that's been on the vine too long. I've heard you can make them sweeter by putting Epsom salt on it. I don't use it. I used to use Epsom salt for 20 years. I don't use it anymore because I can't tell the difference. Another thing is because I add nutrients to my soil, trace minerals, things like that in the azomite rock dust that I use. So I don't see a difference, so I stopped using it. I'm not knocking anybody that does. And also I heard, oh, I can't think right now, guys, that it might be a deficiency, a potassium deficiency. Okay, do you have a video on comfrey? Yes, ma'am. Go look at my playlist for fertilizers. I show you how I planted it. I show you how I chopped it down and used chop and drop around trees. I show you how I put it into 5-gallon buckets and fermented it. The longer you ferment it, the stinkier it's going to smell, the darker color it's going to become, and the more nutrients will be in it. And then you dilute it with water. So go look at my playlist and you will see videos about comfrey. And remember, I'm using Russian comfrey blocking 14. It cannot be grown from seeds. You have to grow it from a cutting. Okay. Can you tell me a simple vegetable to start with being in the mesquite area? Okay, Rebecca, you're going to have to take into consideration the time of the year that you're planting. So, a good plant to grow right now would be heat-tolerant plants. And I'm going to talk about that today. And those would be, and I don't recommend you buy seeds for these, it's too late. And you can go back and look at the replay after this. It would be eggplant. You can't buy starch right now for corn. You can't hardly find corn starch in Texas anyway. Okra and peppers. Now, I would say sweet potatoes, it'll grow good. They grow good in the heat. However, you must have started them in May. Hi, Essie. Thanks for being here. So, I've given you 3 options. Eggplant, okra, and peppers by transplants, since you live close to me. But our tomatoes in the fall grow better than the spring and the summer. I don't grow tomatoes after June. Now, I did an experiment. I left 5 small flowers on the vine in a container for the emergency garden, and they were pollinated and turned into tomatoes. But our rain was so inconsistent, all they did was split. So I'm not even going to waste my time again. I'm going to stick to my original plan. I pull all of my tomatoes by the 2nd week in June. That's usually when I take a vacation or staycation. And then I have my second crop that I'll start from seeds in August or late July. And sometimes I clone tomatoes and bring them in the house. But this year I didn't want to clone anything because we had a lot of rain. We had a very unusual weather pattern this year, and I had a lot of root rot damage, so I didn't want to clone anything. Never try to clone something that is already sickly, or you're having a problem with, or you're having fungus, or they are infested with insects. You want to plant something and grow something different. Okay, so I hope I answered your question, Rebecca. Thanks, Rob from Ession's Gardening Family. Okay, I just planted some basil for my mom, but now we have a lot of shiny beetles eating the leaves. I asked, what should I do other than just picking them off? Mary, I don't know where you are. If you're in zone 8 or above, I don't recommend you use anything with oil in it. Whether it is neem oil, pure cold pressed neem oil, or orange oil. Those are the 2 sprays that I like to use. But when it gets real hot, it will fry your leaves of your plants like chicken. So I make this insect spray, and I have a video in my playlist on insects. And this is fermented onions for a week with garlic. And then after the week is up, I add crushed red pepper flakes. I bring it to a boil, and then I strain it twice. And insects can't stand the smell of it. Most insects don't like it. They don't like garlic. They don't like onion unless, it's a bug that is attracted to that. Okay? So pick them off, drop them in a little jar of dish soap and water, or make you an insect repellent. Okay. I'm trying to go with the next. If you're new to my live, or if you haven't been in a while, please start your questions with all caps. Thank you, Turf Therapy. I started some tomatoes, but I don't expect much for a few months. Started from seeds. Sure, Liz, Lazy Liz, I do that sometimes and just have them in my grow room under a grow light. And that way, they make it, they don't, they don't. And then I start slowly bringing them outside up under the gazebo, under shade. And then I usually put them like on a roller wagon and move them into the sun 15 minutes, take it back. Next day I'll do 20 minutes, and slowly bring them in because it's so hot. Okay, hi, Lady Cheryl. Glad to be in service. My church going Baptist folks better know this song. You don't have a pulpit, but you sure know how to deliver a good garden sermon. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That comes from being in church all my life, I guess. Okay. Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? It's a fruit. It's a fruit that I wouldn't put in the fruit salad. Hi, Marty. My first adult job was in Chicago. All the men in the Chicago area would ride the South Shore train to Gary and East Chicago to work in the steel mills, and all the women would work in the offices in Chicago, would ride the train, and you meet your husband on the train. Somebody said they're about to make a ham sandwich. Sandwich, just like that. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much. Would that, okay, Game Nerd Mom, would that spray work in detracting or repelling Japanese beetle? Yes, it will. But the best way to get Japanese beetles off of your plant is just pick them off. I say it all the time. They are slow in the head. I can reach toward one to pick it up. Where's my hand? To pick it up, instead of it flying off, it'll just move a little bit away and you just get it. Now, growing up with 5 brothers, 4 older brothers, and 1 younger brother, they used to terrorize me and my only sister, chasing us with bugs and worms. I was a real girly girl. Cosmetology educator, the lashes, the weave, the nails, everything. I was just so prim and proper and glamorous. But that stopped when I noticed all those insects and things were eating my plants. So I toughened up real quick. I can pick up anything now. Even the little garter snakes that look like a fat worm, I can pick them up and put them where I want them. And I used to be afraid of all kind of bugs, except those little lightning bugs. We used to catch them as a kid and pretend we were making diamonds, you know. But now I can pick up a Japanese beetle. I can pick up a grub worm and smash it with my hand or my foot. I can pick up a slug and just press it between my fingers. And I know it sounds gross, and it would have grossed me out 20 years ago, but not anymore. Okay. Hi, Anastasia. Thank you for coming. Okay, let's go to the next question. Where can I find your email for question? Aikisha, I think I'm saying that right. Any one of my videos, not the lives, but any one of my regular videos, if you scroll down in the description box, it has my email. Okay? Okay, you are an angel. Oh, so sweet. I can't do bare hands yet. You just keep growing food. You keep growing food, great Game Nerd Mom. You're going to change. I couldn't do it either. But I can now. I used to could take my shoe off and, you know, squat it or whatever, hit it. But now I can, since I retired, about 6 years ago, I think that's when I started picking them up. When you grow food, and you see these little ugly little bugs trying to eat your stuff, I'm just saying, I change. Because I think of my food, even though I eat it, I think it as my children. Especially when you grow it from seed. When you take a tiny tomato seed, pepper seed, a small bean or a pea, and it grows into a plant, especially the tomatoes and the peppers. I'm just fascinated when I come out and I just say, look at God. Nobody but him could have created something so unique that you can duplicate it or replicate it from one little seed and you can get 100 tomatoes off of it. That's amazing to me. Okay. When do I harvest my collard kale and squash? Because to me they look ready but very young. Again, Nicole, that depends on where you live. Now, everything that you just named, except for the squash, I don't grow after June in my zone. So it depends on where you live and how hot it is. So I can't really answer that question for you. I'm going to refer, okay, I think she's saying, I'm looking at my phone here and my laptop, you saying you're in zone 7. See, collards, in my opinion, taste better when they have been kissed by a frost. So, did your collards go through a freezing period or a cold period? That's when I harvest all my collards. And in 100-degree weather, collards is just a trap plant for cabbage worms and other insects. So I can't grow mine that in this type of heat. So I'm going to refer you to the Farmer's Almanac. Okay, Monique Williams, retype your question because I didn't get it. But you are next. Okay. You made me brave. I can squash them all with my fingers because if you, I know it, Jamie Lynn. You don't let them little bugs take over all your hard work. Okay, you say you corresponded with me. This is Cynthia. Earlier this week about my loving your videos. I made it to the live. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. And Nicole, you're in zone 7. So you probably can grow your brassicas, your collards, your kale a little bit longer than me. Only thing I can tell you is to try it, cook some, see how they taste. Okay, why does my pumpkin and butternut squash, why is it not growing in zone 6? You should be growing it really well. It's not real hot where you are. I'm gonna need more details, sweetie. I just, off the bat, I just can't tell you why it's not growing. If you can give me some indicators as to what it's doing. Okay, it's truly amazing. I'm a first-time, second-round gardener, and I give my plants a couple of hours every day after work and whatever I feel like it on the weekends. It makes me smile every time I go out. I know. Anybody in here just go outside and look at your plants? I do. I'll just open up the patio doors. It's right over here. And I'll just peep out when that heat is so hot that I have to come right back in just to look and see if everybody okay. Okay, hello, new to the channel. You live in New York City. I have a store-bought pepper plant, and I was wondering if you have any tips to keep my plants alive and happy. Store-bought pepper plant. Oh, a transplant. I would recommend that you look at my playlist for tomatoes and peppers. And all of my tips and tricks are in there. It's too much for me to tell you in one little setting like this. Okay? Peppers love heat. Peppers, if you get a lot of rain, need a little calcium. I give mine a little garden lime. Organic garden lime. Lady Love Gardening Projects, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And don't overwater them. But everything else you can get from my videos. Hello, Carolina Gardner. Experimental garden. I think you are right. I saw the message before it was deleted. Just the green. I don't know what you guys talking about, and I didn't delete anything. So if somebody want to clue me in on it, I would appreciate it. What time of the year is Wouter Baker planted? In the fall? And if you live in a zone 8A or higher, you can grow it all through the winter. One said sweep. I grow Wouter Baker. I start putting the seeds in around August, September. Okay. If I skipped your question, please retype it. I have gotten better at getting the bugs off my plants. I've loved sitting in my window looking out at my garden for hours every day. Yes. And in where I am, even though we have 100 and 100 plus degree temperature, it's still relatively cool between 75, 80 in the morning. So I like to come out and have my tea or decaf coffee and just observe the food forest. And then I get busy. And I try to work up a sweat for about 3 hours. After 10 o'clock, I don't want to be out there. Because today at 10 o'clock, it was 90 degrees. And I start getting nauseous. So I try to get out. When I'm upstairs going into the shower, I look down at the garden. I bet it's beautiful too. I still can't catch bugs with my hands. I don't think I will ever get there. Okay, keep living. When should I begin growing container Roma tomatoes here in Dallas? I would recommend, if you're going to grow the seeds, you need to start like August. If you're going to buy some transplants, September. And by the way, Roma tomatoes make the best pasta sauce and tomato paste. Okay, thank you. My plate is alive, must be plant, but leaves are looking very sad and saggy. I need a picture, please. You can email me. I'm sorry, I can't give you any type of information based upon that. Somebody doing blue collards? Okay. My favorite are Georgia. And I have grown tree collards and purple tree collards. But I have to admit, I didn't really like them. So I stopped growing the tree collards and I just grow the Georgia. Do you cover up your compost tea? Yes, definitely. It's in the video. Definitely. Whether I'm making weed tea or compost or comfrey tea. I use those Home Depot buckets and I put the top on it. If you don't, you're going to have flies everywhere. Okay. Hello, Louisiana Gardening Guru. Nice to see you. Okay, Miss Cheryl, my zucchini. First of all, Rhonda, next time put it in all caps. I may not see it, but I did get it, thank goodness. My zucchini plants keep wilting. I'm watering in the morning, but it still wilts. Could you give me some advice, please? Shade cloth. 50% shade cloth. If you can't get shade cloth, put a sheet on it. An old sheet. Clip it to anything that you can. Need some shade. Okay, first time gardener. Problems with my watermelons. They look like they are dying and something ate one. But I water them every day. What else can I do? I would hold off on some water. I wouldn't water watermelon every day. And as far as eating, something ate it. Repel all. Won't make your pet sick. Won't hurt your plants. I learned to pick out bugs with my bare hands this year. I'm telling you, Carolina Gardener, I don't have a major insect problem. And I don't use any oils on my plants when it gets past 85, 90 degrees. I just don't have it. Speaking of insects, let me share this with you. The best time to get certain insects is after it rains or when you're watering. For an example, squash bugs. They don't like you watering around the roots of the plants. And if you suspect you have any, just start watering, and you'll see those suckers climbing up. And you just pick them up and drop them in a little cup of dish soap water. Another plant that doesn't like water is slugs. When it's raining, you'll see those suckers just sliming, creeping up the plant. Just pick them off and throw them in a cup of dish soap water. Aphids don't like water. You can literally drown them with the full force of water. So once you learn these things and you use your repellent, because they like the smell of this juice, so they're going to go over to the neighbor's yard. Now, my neighbor on this side isn't growing anything but trees, bushes, roses, and flowers. My neighbor on this side of me is growing all types of food, fruits, and vegetables. So the pests are going to run over there if they're not using anything. And if they water at night, they're going to run to my yard at night. That's why I don't water at night. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that waters their plants at night. Because some of you work, some of you have different shifts, you know. And so you water when it's convenient for you. But I like to water early in the morning. Because I want my plants to be dry at night so all the insects and the bugs don't run to my yard. Does that make sense? Just want to make sense. Do you have any cost-effective ideas on how to shade patio? And wait a minute, I think I missed one. Let me go back up. Is it too late to start peppers in Birmingham? No, if you buy a transplant. Hey, Peanut, good to see you. I saw Rob open up your his order that he got from you. And I was excited because when he started describing what he was getting ready to open up, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. So no, it's not too late to start peppers in Birmingham, but you must buy some transplants. Alabama blue collars, okay? Peppers from seeds, you are in Birmingham, check with the Farmer's Almanac. It'll tell you what you can start from seed and what they advise you to start with a transplant. I don't know about that area. Okay, now I want to get to Monique's question. Do you have any cost-effective ideas on how to shade patio balcony plants? So your balcony is probably covered, but you got sunlight coming vertically, I'm assuming. Because most balconies in apartment complexes covered. So I would recommend a screen. Inexpensive IKEA screen. That should work. Answer all my questions. I don't believe in that, Connie. My peppers started flowering at 6 inches tall. Should I pick the flowers off? I don't. Now, if you have a whole lot of flowers, maybe, but I don't take flowers off of my seedlings unless I'm starting them in the house in the wintertime and I can't get them outside because of a frost issue. So this time of year, I don't take the flowers off. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay. Thanks, Gwendolyn. I'm glad you're here. I have Romas in the garden right now, and they're holding on in the heat. I'm looking forward to some fruit this fall. They can hold on, but they're not, you in DFW, Carson World, they're not producing any flowers right now. But you can't hold on to them. Somebody put down basil. I don't know. This must be a separate. Oh, Monique, you're saying that your patio is not covered? Then you can use umbrellas. I saw on a gardening Facebook page, the lady bought some umbrellas, small little umbrellas from Aldi's. I want to say she paid like $10 for them. And she stuck them in, those half whiskey barrels, whether they are wood or plastic. And she just stuck them down in there and it shaded. So that would be a good idea for you. Also, you can look on Pinterest. Just put in the search engine, how to shade plants on a patio, uncovered patio. You sharp Lady Cheryl, you come with those on-point answers in the quick ones. Oh, thank you, guys. I taught beauty school for 30 years and Sunday school. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And so when you when you know your subject matter, you can come up with the answers. Also, when I taught adults, I learned to improvise. As long as you know the subject matter, you can do that. I think it's natural too. Okay, will you do a video on your grow room? I do. I have some. Go back and look at my seed starting seeds on my playlist. They're there, and I'll start again in January. Okay. I used umbrellas that someone threw in the trash. Great, Lazy Liz. Somebody's trash could be repurposed and used as a jewel in your garden. Hi, Skinny Boy Randy. Okay, now, Lisa, I'm getting ready to get into the competition, and I'm going to tell you about what seeds I'm starting for my food forest. Guys, I am so sorry. I'm going to have to leave you for a second. I'm going to go get my receipt and my seeds. Okay, it's time to announce the winners of the competition. But before I do that, let me turn my fan down. So it won't blow. I hope you can see that. That's from Baker Creek. The only thing that I am folding is my address. And if you would look right here, it tells you what the seeds are. And you can see that I ordered them July 6th, 2020. 2 packages of seeds for $5. And the seeds were, and they're called, Are You a Master Gardener? I have never taken all the courses to become a master gardener. I know people who are master gardeners who pass the test. And that's all I'm going to say. But here we go. Drum roll, please. Old-time cowpeas. And they also on this receipt, can you see that? They're also called Old Timer or Purple Hull Speck. Let me see if I can get this in here real good because I want everybody to really look right there. Old Timer Purple Hull Speck peas. So there were only 3 winners that I am going to award. $10 gift certificate, as I told you. I'm relaunching my product line, Lady Cheryl, on a much smaller scale. For 10 years, I made organic and natural hair, skin, and candles products. And I had to have a major surgery, and I had to retire early, so I stopped doing it. It was either that or my garden. I let that go, and I kept my garden. So I had 150 products. I'm starting off with probably 3, and I'll add one product probably every 2 months, something like that. But it'll be small scale. I'm not going to try to do what I did before because I'm much older now. Okay, so let's get to the contest winners. The first person who corrected and will receive a $10 gift certificate was Hypocentric. And she answered exactly as the seeds were listed on the website. Purple hull peas. So congratulations to Hypercentric. The second winner is How Connie. She said cowpeas. And these are cowpeas. And the third person that answered correctly was, I don't know if it's Sicko Pookie Boo. It's Z-I-C-O, Pookie Boo. She said peas. So I took that answer. Now, it was some of you that answered, said cabbage, beans, watermelon, squash, peas. And I immediately went back. Thank you. Congratulations to all the winners. And email me your mailing address and I'll get you the gift certificate. And you can redeem it when I launch the line. And I immediately went back. It was like an hour into the contest, and I said, guys, some of you are putting a lot of answers. I'm going to have to take your first answer. And some of you retracted it and put down one answer. But these were the only three that said purple hull peas, cardinal peas, or cow peas. So I have to give them props. Carson World is growing purple hull peas. Are you growing the vining type or the bush type, Carson World? Thank you, Knows Better TV, about the well wishes. I appreciate that. Okay, so now I got a few things that I want to discuss. And the first thing is about growing food in the winter, in the heat, is the seeds germinate fast. If you go back at my playlist and you'll see this time of year, I germinated seeds in 1 day when it's real hot. Most seeds need an environment of 70 degrees or more, and that's why we start seeds in our homes and we put heating Klaus, hey, Hypercentric, congratulations. We put heating mats up under the seed trading starts, planters, and we give them, artificial light after they germinate. But if you start them outside, you can get them germinating 1 or 2 days. I have videos documenting that. Okay. Now, remember to rotate your crops. Don't put the same thing in the same place season after season after season, because you're taking all these nutrients out of your soil. So rotate it. Also, if you're growing things like squash that you're susceptible to get squash bugs, eggs will be in that soil. So don't plant squash in the same spot again. Does that make sense? Just want to make sense. Also, let me share this with you all. I went online to Home Depot. They had no Jiffy Seed starting mix. I don't like the pellets. I'm not knocking anybody that does. I don't like those trays that have this seed starting mix and you have to mix it in with water and put it in. I just like to buy the 12-quart bag of Jiffy Seed starting mix. I boil my water and I put pure cold pressed neem oil, a tablespoon in there, and I don't have a lot of fungus issues. So when I went to Home Depot to order some, they didn't have any in my store. So I said, okay, I'm going to Amazon. The price had tripled. When you get off of my live, or if you're able to be on one, more than open up one, you know what I'm trying to say, window in your laptop or whatever you're using, check it out. They have gone nuts. Walmart.com had, I don't know if I should be calling these names out, but Wally World had 4 12-quart Jiffy Seed starting mix for $49. Guys, that only cost $5.27. So I did an express delivery from Home Depot. It'll be here Wednesday. I ordered 5 for $5.27. And that'll cover me all through next year. To get them at that reasonable price, I said, I'm going to get mine now. They're supposed to be delivered by Wednesday. And it was something else I wrote down. Lowe's didn't have any. So those of you that love to start your seeds early, and if you like seed starting mix or trays, because of what's going on in the world right now, a lot of people are gardening and the prices are being gouged. Okay? So order them early. You know what, guys? I've covered everything on my notes that I wanted to cover, except for the black light. I have a video on it. It's a light that you can buy from Home Depot. And you go out at night. I'm thinking, because I'm thinking, can I run and go get it real quick? But I don't really know where I put it. I don't know if it's in the grow room or in the greenhouse. But you shine it on an object in the dark, and it will illuminate those hornworms. And you can catch them when they're real small. By the time you see a hornworm, I see so many people posting them on Facebook. These big, fat, juicy hornworms. You've had it for a long time. So if you get you a light, it'll turn neon or iridescent green in the dark, and you can catch those hornworms real early. Okay? All right. Yes, you're right, Lazy Liz. Third-party sellers. That's exactly. Guys, canners. Water bath canners, pressure canners just have gone up. And this makes me lose respect for certain companies when they take advantage of people like that, because they know we're vulnerable. Hi, Jackie. I'm glad you're in Fort Worth. Can't wear lipstick anymore. So, yeah, these online companies are gouging. They have been gouging since February. Thank you for taking that out. Every now and then, guys, we will have a person that comes in here that, they're miserable and they'll say little nasty things. So anyway, and so my moderators will take them out or hide the messages. Thank you so much. Trolls. That's the name I was trying to say. Thank you, sweetie. When you become a senior citizen, sometimes you have like a little lapses of memory. But what was I going to say? What was I talking about? Somebody help me. I need a hype man. Gouging. Can of Lysol for $18. Thank you, Kinda. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Yeah, I mean, people just taking, that little, small, little bitty purse-sized hand sanitizer? I saw that in a lot of gas stations when we were on the road for our vacation. It was $7.99. $7.99 for an item that you used to get for 49 cents. No more than $1. It's just ridiculous. Hey, daughter, how you doing? Green Organic Love. Y'all need to go check out her channel. Her garden is just so pretty. It's so beautiful, so productive. Those hornworms will eat peppers, Clausen World, and they'll eat eggplants. They don't eat just tomatoes, but catch them when they're young. And like I said, if you see some that are real fat, they have been in your garden for a long time, and they can decimate a plant overnight. Same thing with slugs. They can eat a whole strawberry in one night. They move slow. My email is in my address. I don't like to put it inside of my videos like that unless one of my moderators can come in here and click on it for me. Okay, I understand. I think I saw a little bit on the news, daughter. Okay, 2 cans of Lysol for $41. Wow. How do you get rid of ants? Okay, let's talk about that. That's a tricky one because depending on where you live, you can't use a lot of oil. This is what I normally use for my ants. And you know, I told you guys I done had this forever. And you don't need a lot because it's very concentrated. It costs a little bit, but it's very good. And you can drench the soil with this. Just put a little bit in a gallon, like a tablespoon. But now, if you got ants crawling up all your plants and things like that, I don't recommend using this because this will make your plants fry, unless you live in a colder gardening zone. If your ants is like on the ground and it's not in a garden bed or space, I use boiling water. You can also take a mason jar and put holes in the lid or a baggie or with a rubber band, and you could put cream of wheat. And they'll crawl in there and eat the cream of wheat, and then it'll expand and they will explode. So Google killing ants naturally. Those are some of the things that I know you can use. Borax is considered a natural ingredient. You can combine it with sugar and sprinkle it around your plants in containers. It won't harm them as long as you use a little bit. Okay, I need to take Bee Man out. I need you all to let me see if I can do it right now. I got it. Just a minute, guys. Because, you know, this doesn't make any sense for people to troll. We're sitting here and we're chatting and we're offering solutions to gardening so we can become self-sufficient. And then we have these people that come in here and try to disrupt everything. So get thee behind me, Satan. Yeah, the cream of wheat works. Cream of wheat works. Oh, ants on my okra tree. Okay, now, this is a good one. Miller's Gardener. Usually when you see ants on okra, I'm not telling you what I read, I'm telling you what I know, what I've seen. Okra is one of those plants that aphids are attracted to. And when you see a lot of ants crawling up your okra, I guarantee you aphids are in the vicinity, because ants farm and protect and surround aphids, because aphids excrete a sugary honeydew substance that ants like. Most people think ants eat your food. They don't. Your plants. They suck off the moisture in the liquid. So examine your plants very carefully. I guarantee you, you're going to find aphids. Aphids can be white. They can be translucent. They can be light green. They can be beige. They can be brown. They can even be black. And they're probably real tiny and you don't notice them. So the way to get rid of the aphids is to blast them with water. I was talking about this earlier in the live chat. A strong force of water will drown aphids. And this is something I'm real passionate about. Excuse me. Because for years, I thought I had to use dish soap and water, neem oil, whatever, frying my leaves on my plants, trying to kill aphids. And then let me just throw some water on here. And it worked. I learned that probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't never put any chemicals on my products, and I don't use anything to get rid of aphids except water. Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you, daughter. Next time, I trust your judgment. Don't put anybody in time out. Just take them out. This is sad. Hey, Barefruit Gardening. I got aphids on my zinnias last year, covered them. But I noticed they stayed on the zinnias and nowhere else. The zinnias were kind of like a trap crop. It happens. So you would determine if you want to take them out or not. Because if they're just feasting on the zinnias that's going to die off anyway with the first low temperature, nothing wrong with using them as a trap crop. I'm so paranoid about water on leaves because some folks say it leads to mildew. I don't agree with that. Water, especially this time of year, will coagulate, will dehydrate. Mildew is a fungus. Yes, it can spread when it's a lot of moisture, but more wind than anything. Because we haven't had any rain here, I don't think, for like 2 weeks, and I have some powdery mildew. And it's because of the wind. It can come from my neighbor's yard. You feel me? So I don't believe in that concept that moisture on your leaves causes a powdery mildew. It's a fungus. It's airborne. Because if that was the case, people that live in wet climates will have fungus all year long. And that's not the case. Okay. Any more questions? Diatomaceous earth will kill aphids? Yes, it will. But I don't waste my diatomaceous earth on aphids because I know water can get rid of them. Okay, so I think I've answered all your questions. Again, I want to say congratulations to the winners. Please send me an email with your mailing address. Put contest winner in the subject line, and I'll answer it right away. Hypocentric, who had the exact answer. How Connie. Again, another winner who did very well said there were cowpeas, and that's another name for the product. And Sicko Pookie Boo. Zico Pookie Boo. I love that. She said peas. If there are any other questions, when is the best time to harvest pumpkin or squash? When the tendrils curl and become brown, you will know. Miriam says, do I have a website? I just started it. It says, it's Lady Cheryl's products. It just says coming soon. I'm working on it now. Yes, good night, everybody. Good night, Chef Raw Digger. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Closet World, Monique, Lisa, Tommy Bites Homestead. I watched a lot of your videos this past weekend, Tommy. I really enjoy them. Yira, yeah, am I saying that right? Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, is it okay to compost plants killed by squirrels? I don't compost anything that had any type of infestation. So if you had some bugs on some plants, throw them away, sweetie. No, no, no. Any type of fungus, root rot, knotty root, insect infestation, I don't put that in my compost. All you doing is spreading it. Because those eggs will be in that compost. Thank you, U233-200. Appreciate you. Miller's Gardener, thank you so much. Okay, everybody, I love you. You know God loves you too. Tune in next Monday night. If you have an idea of what you think you would like to talk about, send me an email, and we'll do that. I'm not sure how many more lives I'm going to have because I'm going to have to pace myself, um, adding more to my plate, launching the product line again. But as long as I have an audience, as long as I think I can help people, I will do it. It might be a different time. Okay. And don't forget, my offer still stands. Only one person took me up on my offer to walk you through a canning process on Zoom or Skype or Google Hangouts. If you need me, I'm here for you, and there's no charge. Good night, everybody. Bye now.